time. I'm super excited for today's featured guest. I know you hear me say that every week, but I all the way from West Sussex, England, the UK, my featured guest today is none other than the Sharon Bolt, and we're going to be talking about how to create brand visibility by getting ongoing publicity. I'm super excited to have her here with us today. She has been a business owner and entrepreneur for over 19 years. Sharon's businesses have included complementary therapies, dog training, and PR. And during the last 13 years, she has contributed to more than 50 different local and national newspapers, magazines, TV, and radio shows, and has received over 2 million, that's 2 million US dollars in free publicity and advertising. She is a regular contributor to entrepreneur.com and has written for the HUFFPOST and has been interviewed on some of the top podcast shows from all around the world. She is also the co-author of 2 highly acclaimed books called Successful Women in Business and Every Entrepreneur's Guide to Running Your Own Business. Now, after our introduction, I'm going to be super excited to introduce you to Sharon. Welcome. Oh, wait a minute. Let me, welcome.
Hi, Dr. Lisa. It's lovely to be here and I'm on your show.
Thank you so much for fitting me into your schedule with the time difference and everything. I so appreciate it.
Oh, it's so good to be here. I can't wait to chat to you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so how do you go from working with dogs and therapy into publicity?
Yeah, I know it seems quite bizarre, doesn't it? You know, how do you go from that? It's so different. But, you know, this is what the funny thing is because my whole publicity journey was about dog training. I got these 2 little puppies. They were brothers from the same litter, and they changed my life and career because I was told by so many different dog trainers that it was the worst case scenario and I'd have to rehome one. They'd get nasty. So I was on this mission to really keep hold of these 2 puppies. There was no way that they were going anywhere. And so I embarked on this mission, and it was about a year after having them, and I was seeing such good results from them and also other people that I was working with. And I had a complementary therapy practice at the time, but I just loved dog training. So it was my dream. It was my passion. I wanted to go into a brand new business, but I just didn't know where to start. I didn't have any budget. I just really didn't know. I thought it was going to be a pipe dream. And then one day I heard on the radio, it was a national radio here, BBC Radio 2 here in the UK, and they've got over 6 million listeners. And they said that they were going to get a dog training expert on their show the following week. And I thought, wow.
Wait a minute. So after you had the idea that you wanted to make a new business venture out of this, you're listening to BBC, and I'm familiar with them. I watch them here in the United States as well. And you hear an announcement made that they're looking for a dog trainer?
That's right, a dog training expert. And what they said is they were going to get somebody off the TV. Well, of course, I had no prior media experience. Dr. Lisa, I didn't even have a website. I had no subscribers. I had no followers, but I had the belief. And I know you're all about belief.
I'm all about that.
Yeah. So I'm talking your language. I know. I had that belief that I could make a difference. I really felt that I could educate and entertain their listeners. So I pitched the show. Now, it didn't happen straight away. I actually pitched them 3 times and said that, you need to get me on your show.
Okay,
I've got the
so
answers.
I think that's important for the listeners and viewers to hear, is that you felt so passionate about this that not only did you pitch them once, not only did you pitch them twice, but you went at it until you got your yes.
Absolutely. I was convinced I could help them. I really was. And I was excited to do it as well. But I knew it wasn't the normal things people do. And, I was daring to put myself out there. I was daring to be calling myself a dog training expert when I had no business. So I just had that belief. So I pitched them the 3rd time, and it was about 3 days later. I was sitting in one of the London BBC studios live in front of 6 million listeners, answering dog training questions. And that was the start of my publicity journey and my brand new dog training business.
So when you saw the email response, did you think that you were seeing things like, this is a figment of my imagination?
Well, it was, what happened is because I gave them my telephone number, they called me. And this is quite common in the media, is that they want to give you it's like a mini interview. They want to know how good you are. Are you going to freeze? Are you going to talk the talk? Are you going to be entertaining? What are you going to be like? And they are so much more interested about that than they are how long you've been in business, what you do. They don't want to really know anything about you. They want to know that you're going to be a good interview and you're going to educate and entertain their listeners.
So I think that's important too, is that you said that they called because basically they are interviewing you to see how engaging and entertaining you will be. Yes. So that's another point, is people have to answer the phone.
They have to answer the phone and be ready, not to be frightened. I mean, this is how again, we're on to mindset, which is so important. When you are going to do that, you're going to have that telephone conversation. And then, when I was in the studios, my mindset was very clear that I was going to talk to them and have fun, just like I'm talking to you now, Dr. Lisa. I don't focus on who's listening. It's just me and you. We're having a chat. We're good friends and we're just having a coffee together.
I love it. I love it. So you take the stress and the pressure off of being interviewed and getting all of this free publicity. And I don't know if you all remember, I read in her bio, $2 million worth of free advertising. Free publicity, right?
Yes. Yeah, I love it.
And so what did that appearance on BBC lead to? What happened next?
Well, what happened then is, because then, of course, it was a BBC radio station, I just blitzed that on all my marketing. So whenever I pitched anything, it was as seen on BBC, or as heard as it was on BBC Radio 2.
Wow.
And then, of course, you have that credibility. Yeah. That's why I went for gold. That's why I went for the top. I wanted that credibility. It opened doors for me. And then, of course, it just like a snowball effect. I got local attention for being on that show, because they like local heroes and local celebrities, as I then became. And then, of course, I got interviewed on TV, and it just went from there because I had that credibility.
So it's important. So if I'm hearing you correctly, it's important for us to be able to toot our own horn and not be so shy about getting out there and reminding people, this is who I am. This is what I bring to the table.
Absolutely, Dr. Lisa. It is so important. What I really like to get across to people is, don't wait for somebody else to validate you. You have to be the one that validates yourself. You have to stand up.
So don't wait for someone else to validate you. You have to validate yourself. Wow. Yeah. Wow. And so you started validating yourself and ended up all over the place and becoming a local celebrity. And then that celebrity status spread. Tell us more.
Well, yes, then it goes, that's when I got onto TV. I got a radio slot. Well, I've had a regular radio slot since 2008 now on BBC. And you start to get to know journalists, and you become their choice, that whenever they've got anything like that related, they they call you, because you make their job very easy. The journalists, they're really busy people, so the easier that you make their life, the more they're going to come knocking on your door. So you need to be there, ready, media friendly, and ready to go.
So I want to put up, this is how you can get in touch with Sharon, getfreepublicitytoday.com. I don't want you to give away too much, because I want them to go to your website and interact with you and do business with you. But when you say make it easy for them, what does that mean? How do you pitch producers in such a way that they want to pick up the phone and call you because they want you on their programming?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Dr. Lisa. And I think that's a question of so many people. And I think it's the hardest thing for people, is that they don't know where to start, how to come up with a story idea that's even going to be interesting to the media. And the best place to start is with your business story. People, the thing with journalists, they are professional storytellers. So why do you start? Why do you do your business? What made you do what you do today? What is your mission? Now, it could be that you have a rags to riches story, and of course the media are going to love that, of how you overcame the obstacles, etc. But it doesn't have to be that way. It could be that you're just a mum, and you've got 2 children that you want to be there for. You want to take them to school. You want to attend their meetings. You want to be there for them. And that's what your why is. That's what's driven you to become a business owner. So really get clear on your business story. Now, that won't always hit national media, but that is a great place to start with local media.
So starting with your why and your own, and being a storyteller. So the pitch is not so much, hey, here I am, but more so, let me tell you about why I'm doing what I'm doing. When I was this, and something in a soundbite way, right?
Yes.
This is why I started doing this, and these are the results that I've gotten. Very interesting. A storyteller.
That's exactly. So of course, if these are busy people, so let's take the local newspaper, for example.
Yeah.
They have a lot of column space to fill. Well, it could be a weekly, it could be a daily publication. And of course, it's now online. So they've got to have new stuff, entertaining stuff, newsworthy stuff, and you need to be relevant to them. That's a real key piece here, Dr. Lisa. You have to be relevant to them. So have a look at the newspaper, whether it be the local, whether it be the national. What type of stories do they like to cover? Now, when you start coming up with stories that they like to cover and pitch them, and remember my story, don't give up if they don't say yes straight away. And even if you've tried and you've followed up a couple of times and you've still got nothing, just come up with a different story idea. Try something else. What's going on in the media? What is hitting the headlines? How can you become relevant to them?
So that means don't give up. Just keep reading and seeing how you can interrelate what you do with what a current event is happening and what's going on in the community.
Yes. And just to give you an example of that, say, for example, there was a celebrity has done something.
Yeah.
I mean, the media are all about celebrities, Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
It could be any form of celebrity. But if you can hook your business or your story onto what they're doing, say they're starting a new diet and you're a nutritionist, you can become the authority on this type of diet. Wow. So they want all of this. They're looking for people when something hits the news, and say celebrities, something that they're doing, it's a new trend or something like that. How can you become the spokesperson in that, and then just contact them and say, I am an expert in A, B, and C, and I can give you 5 easy ways to adapt this particular lifestyle or diet into your life.
I love it. Who would have thought of that? And so a word, what I'm hearing also you're saying is that a word of advice is start local. Is to start local. Mhm.
I mean, it's counterproductive to what I was actually doing myself, because I go for gold. So, I want the top ones. I want the top newspapers. I want the top
Yes.
websites, whatever it is, blog sites, whatever. So, that's what I do. But I understand that we have to be in line with our mindset. So if that makes us feel a little bit frightened or a bit shaky, then go for the smaller podcast shows, go for local newspapers. That type of thing, and build your confidence. But if you are like me and you're thinking, do you know what, I can do this, I'm ready to go, I want this, I can help. If you're all going like that, then go for it. But there is something I want to just give you a little bit of advice with that, and something that I really took on board for myself when I was going for the BBC Radio 2. Now, bearing in mind, I had no prior media experience. I had no website. I was not classed as an expert, but I was going for it. I believed I could do it, but it was still quite a vulnerable stage for me. So I was very, very careful who I shared that information with, because I know that when I was going to share that with people, they would reflect back onto me their own fears, and they would try and stop me from doing it, because, they'd give me well, what if it goes wrong? What if they ask you a question you don't know? So be very careful who you share your idea with, if you're going for and doing for something, going for gold and doing something that people don't tend to do.
I appreciate you offering that, Sharon, because I often share with clients that I work with is that, okay, you have to protect the dream, right?
Yes.
Because there are people, you are so right. As soon as you say, oh, I sent a pitch to BBC. What? You did what? You don't even have a website. You don't have a business telephone number. You have nothing. Who do you think you are? And those are the people that, in order to keep them away, won't even share it.
Yes, I didn't tell. In fact, other than my husband, who was actually very fearful, and when I was doing the interview, he was pacing up and down the room, sweating profusely. Get her on and get her off is what he was saying. But he was the only one, really. I have one other friend who I know is really positive, so I shared with her, but no one else knew until after the occasion took place.
So you were going for the gold, and he's behind you pacing back and forth like, oh my gracious, she's actually doing this.
Yes, he was at home. He didn't come to the studio with me. I had to protect myself. I had to keep myself clear. I had to stay in that space of positivity. And I had made intentions before I went that everyone was going to be lovely to me, and that I was just going to sit there and have a chat over the table with a friend. And that's all I was going to think about. And the first time I even considered about anybody listening is when the researcher walked me out and said that was a great interview. And he was then saying about the millions of listeners. And I'm like, wait, I'm glad I didn't think about that ahead of time.
So that was a positive thing, because then afterwards you were like, oh my gracious, what did I just do?
Yes, but I remember I skipped down the London streets, high five in the air, thinking, fantastic, I loved it, and what an achievement.
That is awesome. I love it. So go for the gold, folks. If you want to do it, if you see it, you believe you can make it happen, pitch. And you're just talking to a friend, and you're an expert. You're helping the producers.
Yes.
You're giving them the story ideas. You're presenting yourself as an expert. What more could you ask for? And so you have the radio program. You're still helping others. Now, how do you help others? I want folks to know so they can reach out to you.
Yes, well, I have various online programs. I do have a very, I'm just about to launch a very elite program where I'm actually going to offer to partner with people and do their publicity for them. I mean, I've been asked so many times to do this, and I've just decided, you know what, I think it's time. I mean, I've obviously been doing publicity, my own publicity, but I've also been teaching business owners and entrepreneurs now for quite some years in how to do their own publicity. But I'm just taking it a step further now. And it's just going to be a very elite group of people that I'm going to do this with, just a small number.
So you are going for the gold yet again by working with an elite and intimate group of individuals and help them do their publicity with them, partner with them. That's important. Partner with them. Oh my gracious. And they can find that at your website, right?
That's right. Getfreepublicitytoday.com. And also there's some free training on there. You know, there's lots of free stuff, and there's a free webinar that people can sign up for, and various different programs that they can have a look at if they're interested.
Oh my gracious. I am so glad. Now you all see why I was so happy to have Sharon come on. That here it is. She starts as a dog trainer, and now she's in the business of helping others get free publicity as a result of her going for the gold, presented herself as an expert, which she was because you had years of experience. So
I was getting great results, you know, from people. I just didn't have the website. I didn't have the followers. I didn't have the subscriber list. I didn't have any of that. But yeah, I had the experience, my personal experience, and what I'd been working with other people. So I had the self-belief, but I didn't let that hold me back, that I didn't have many years of experience. I knew and I felt I could make a difference, and I went for it.
And that's exciting. I think that's worth repeating as well, is that you don't have to have all the boxes checked, because people are like, oh no, once I get my website, or once I get this, and once I get that, and all these things lined up, then I'll go for it. But you are an example for us today that go for it. You feel it in your heart and soul. You know it's time. Go for the gold.
That's right. I mean, of course, it is great if you've got your website, and I always recommend to people to have a free offer on their website, so that, you know, the traffic that's coming to your website after that interview, you know, there's something for them that you can start building the relationship with. So I do recommend all of that. But what I do say is, don't miss out on an opportunity if it presents itself. Like that BBC Radio 2 was an opportunity. They were doing it. It was there and then. It hasn't come up again. So go for it if it comes up. Don't be held back because you haven't got everything in order.
Thank you so much. So everybody, please visit getfreepublicitytoday.com. Sharon has some amazing freebies for you, but also be on the front end of her elite program, where she is partnering with business owners to help them get free publicity today. Sharon, thank you. So appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. Lisa. This has been so lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I want to say I plan on reaching out to you myself. So be on the lookout for an email, because I'm really curious about the program.
Lovely. That sounds fantastic.
All right. Bye. Thank you. Oh my gracious. So start from where you are. You know how I say that we are helping you to design your life's goal and vision one episode at a time. This episode was about starting from where you are. Go for the goal, make it happen. There are individuals that need your expertise. Stop sitting on your expertise. Get it out in the world, make it happen, and help those that you can help. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of The Blueprint.